Good morning. Today is the 16th, of First Adar in the 25th of February. We're on page Samach Vav, Amud Aleph. So what we saw on Friday, were you here? You were here. So we were talking about the fact that if there's no heat at all, the whole process of purifying the silver doesn't even start. You can't even see the dross. So the same thing is true about us. If there's no heat in the heart, and we said hitlaavut tefillah, the excitement, yeah, hopefully you do. The excitement means that there's an increase in something, either blood pressure or pulse or something. That's what having excitement means. If what you're contemplating is not causing you any kind of excitement, it's not affecting anything. It's just thought. Now, in the Tanya, in chapter 16, he says that also does something. It's not that it doesn't do anything. But to really begin to get the dross out, to feel that there's something you need to fix, there has to be some kind of excitement. Nimtza ha'oleh mizeh. So we are 10 lines down. The very end of the line. Yes. נמצא עולה מזה שסיבת ברור רע ופרידתו וניקיון הטוב שבנפש הבהמית לשוב להשם באה על ידי קדימת המשכת שלבת האהבה רבה מלמעלה. It says, for there to be a way to extract the negative from ourselves, from the animal soul. And he even uses here this very interesting phrase. He says, וניקיון הטוב שבנפש הבהמית. To cleanse the good of the animal soul. What?
Where's the tov?
Oh, so what's the good in the animal soul? Of course we need the rav tvot v'koach shov. That without the animal soul, a person can only carry so much. The animal soul is what gives all the horsepower.
Yeah.
You need the animal soul.
Without the animal soul, they wouldn't have any procreation.
A lot of things wouldn't happen.
No, is that true or not?
It's even worse. It's not just the animal soul. There it says the Yetzer Hara. It's even...
You need
even more than that.
for procreation.
Of course. So, so for this all to happen, there has to first be a fire that comes from above, because that's how this whole process starts. And Shamshachazu goremet ha'ala, and then this bringing down of the fire, which we said is the initial awakening from above, that causes the awakening from below, the elevation from below. Vu bein ba'avodah shebalev zu tefillah, bein ba'avodah shebamidah shu inyan korban. So this we learned from the altar, that there couldn't, even though they brought the fire from the inner altar, they brought a coal from the inner altar.
That was Yom Kippur.
Every day, they have to bring a coal from below, even though there's fire from above. It's a mitzvah to bring esh min ha'idiyot.
When he burns the incense, where do they take the fire from during the week?
They burn incense every day.
But where do they take that fire from?
That was there. I don't know.
So what are you referring to?
That in order to light the external altar, you always bring a coal from the inside altar every day.
But the fire in the external altar came down from heaven.
Also, this and that. Keshem, it says mitzvah le'avi min ha'idiyot. It's a mitzvah to bring from below, also, from simple. So there's the awakening from below, and there's the awakening from above. What comes first? So according to what he explains here, it's definitely the fire that comes from above that comes first, and then you bring your own fire. In any case, but there are two sources of fire. Those are the two awakenings from above that cause this whole process to happen. So this descent from above, that's what the HaShekel is. The whole phrase, the sacred shekel, this phrase itself is representative of the descent of the infinite light, which is called the holy supernal light above. And it's above even the sovev, as we said. It's above even the surrounding light, because it comes from the mitzcha of Ak, from the forehead of primordial man. Shenikra kadosh bevav, because the sovev is just called kadosh, and this is called kodesh, shekel kodesh. And kadosh is an adjective, kodesh is a noun, meaning something that's kodesh, it itself is kodesh. It is the kodesh itself. It is the holy itself. It's like you say the holy, the sacred. It's not saying the sacred coin. It's the sacred itself. When you say kadosh, you mean something is, with an adjective, it's holy. But this is the holiness itself. So when it comes down, it becomes integrated. Right? The sovev, when it comes down, becomes integrated into integrated light. But his essence, Hashem's essence itself, is called kodesh, is sacred to itself. And when it descends in 3 axes, that we call them Torah and service and acts of kindness, it's called Shekel HaKodesh. Why is it called Shekel HaKodesh? Because it's
separated.
What is this whole picture of 3 axes supposed to represent? That's like the question behind all of this. What does it represent? And when I said this in the very, I think, first or second class that we went over this, that when you'll see this, you'll see everything differently the moment you understand this analogy.
When you say integrated, what's that?
That you feel it, that it becomes part of you. It's a revelation of Hashem that becomes part of you.
What's that in Hebrew?
Ora memale. Okay. What is this whole thing with 3 axes? So it says that in the world before this world of rectification, all the sfirot were in one line, one axis. And when there's one axis, there's no, they say, balance. That's how they call it. So what's balance got anything to do with it? So this is, you can't balance a straight line. So what is the world of rectification? Like that there has to be balance between the left and the right. And the middle is like holding it. So what is this a picture of? Middle axis and 2 lines that are balanced, that balance between themselves. What is that a picture of? So you used to have this in stores a long time ago, before they had digital weights. So you had a balance. What do you call these balances? Like manual, I don't know, analog balances. Right?
You have 2 suits. You have 2 where you have 1 pan on one side and 1 on the other.
Right.
You turn and swing, and it goes up and balances itself out. Or you have just 1 pan by itself, and you put things on it, and you can see from the other side.
Yeah, we're talking about 2, obviously.
Yeah.
And the middle is called, in Hebrew, it's called nefesh hamoznaim, nefesh hamishkal. It has a name. It's called the nefesh. Every part of the Hebrew has very few words for things. One of the things that it has all the words for is for scales. For scales, it has every single part has a name. So everybody knows there's a phrase, well-known phrase, lashon hamoznaim, the tongue of the scales. What does that mean? That's literally what it's called. What's the tongue of the scales? Okay, so anyway, I'll show you next time. I'll bring, because I'll show you that you don't have. Most of the people in Israel don't know these words. So I'll bring the whole. Yeah, that's the part that goes left and right. In any case, what does it mean that the shekel is called Shekel HaKodesh? It's bringing down the holiness, this light that is the light of the infinite, revelation of Hashem's infinite nature, and it's bringing down along 3 axes. So it's saying that it's a shekel. Even the word shekel itself, from what word does it come? From mishkal, from weight, from scales. A mishkal is the scales. That's what it's called. So the shekel itself can either be understood as one of the weights on one of the sides, or can be understood as the entire contraption. So it brings down things in all three axes. The middle axis, which is the nefesh, what holds the two sides of the balance, and the two cups themselves, which are like the two axes. And again, they all have names all the way down. And because of that, it's a very natural corresponding model to the Sfirot. Because it has all the different parts, there's 11 different words that are related to scales. I believe it's 11, it's not 10. So they mamish correspond one-to-one to the Sfirot. It's a very beautiful model, which I don't remember by heart, which is why I'll bring it tomorrow. But what's the point here? The point here is that we usually say that when you fight against the evil inclination here, there's an elevation of the holiness there. How does that exactly work? So I'm giving it away by just doing it with my hands. Because the way that people think about it is like one line. That's how they think about it. Think, like, I'm going to do something down here, and somehow that's magically going to cause something above. But the way to think about it, and that's what he brings in this mimer, is you have to think about it like you have scales. And when you tip the scales in one direction, you push it down, then the other side goes up. So the idea is that when I overcome my evil inclination here, like I'm trotting on it, and I'm like pushing it down, then the other side elevates.
See, even in English you have a Hebrew word, this little round thing where you put the weights in.
Yeah, pans. Okay. So we'll see more of this as we go on, but that's the idea he's saying here. This whole thing of Shekel HaKodesh is these three axes. The whole thing is called a mishkan. The whole thing is called a balance. And there's a lot of analogies between how this thing works and how life works. It's just how... So now he says, V'nechatzi HaShekel, what does it mean to give half? Sorry, I skipped. שהמשכת קודש לא נשקל במידה בג' קווין על ידי המצוות שבהם ועל ידם אנו מתקדשים, כמו שכתוב אשר קידשן במצוותיו. So what are we weighing? We're weighing mitzvot, as it were. But not weighing their weight. We're not interested in how much they weigh, because we say in general, don't weigh the value of a mitzvah.
Well, the Rambam's already told you the whole world is like a scale. You put one
right,
and then it goes down.
So, but what we are doing is we're sanctifying ourselves with the mitzvah. So it's like adding holiness. והנה חצי השקל הוא בחינת המשכה שבקו הימין. So the half shekel is when you push down on the right side. The right side is acts of loving kindness. ועל ידי גמילות חסדים ממעלה למטה, וחצי השקל הוא עורר בחינת אור חוזר ממטה למעלה. And so when you add the Chatziyah Shekel, what did we say the Chatziyah Shekel was? We said it's the 5 aspects of loving kindness, the Chamisha Chasadim that Moshe Rabbeinu brings down. So they all are on the right side. So what do? When you add to the right side, the left side elevates. How else could you... So what are you elevating? The Avoda. Avoda is the left side, the service. Sedel, very nice. That's the whole point. It's the fire, it's everything. Without it, nothing happens. So you're adding weight here, and this is elevating up. It's like a fire going up. And that's an awakening from below. By having an awakening from above, you're causing an awakening from below. And that's another image. The first image I gave is different. The first image I gave is that when you push on the evil inclination, who's like on one side, the holiness is elevated on the other side. That's a different image. Here we're just saying that when you add loving kindness, these 5 aspects of loving kindness, so the Gvura goes up. So there's an awakening. You're elevating their head. What part of their head? Their avoda. Because what do we do with half the shekel? We give it for the korbanos. We give it for the... What's that?
What's the 5 aspects of loving kindness that we give?
It's the 5 aspects that Abba gives to Zah. And we said that it divides 1/3 and 2/3, which is called half and half. So these 5 aspects. There's just a concept in Kabbalah. To tell you exactly where they came from, I have no idea. וזהו כי תישא את ראש בני ישראל לפקודיהם. פירוש מלשון ויפקד מקום דוד. What does it mean to elevate the head of the Israelites? Lifkudehem. Lifkudehem is usually translated as they are the ones who are enumerated, who are counted. But here he says there's 5 different meanings to the word to the Peikuf Dalet, this root. One of them is like we read on Rosh Chodesh or Erev Rosh Chodesh, Vayipaked Makom David, that David's place was empty, and so he was remembered because it's empty. But Lipaked is to be empty. Shu leshon chisaron, which means emptiness, a lack. והעניין הוא ביות כי הרי מבואר למעלה שעל ידי עלייה הוא ברור הרע, כמו שמבואר בשולחן ערוך ב-18 דווקא סלח לנו. So like we said before, that when you're uplifted, that fire that's causing the uplifting, that causes a purification of the negative out of you. וזהו שכאשר תישא ותקביע מוחין לכנסת ישראל, אז יהיה לתועלת פקודיהם, שיפקד ויחסר הרע נדבק מנשמותיהם בערבוביה. So this elevation, like we just said, is causing a lack. What a lack of? A lack of the negative. It's getting the negative, it's causing a hole, as it were. But it's a holy hole. It's not just any kind of hole. So this adding of the loving kindness is causing the fire to go stronger, and because of that, the dross can be taken out, and there can be a hole left. ועלייה זו שמשה מעלה לכנסת ישראל מפרנס האמונה בהמשכת חצי החסד לנוקבה, הוא על ידי שיעשו מצווה המעוררת המשכה זו, והיא נתינת מחצית השקל. And so how do they in practice do it? The Moshe Rabbeinu, he receives these 5 aspects of loving kindness, and then he tells the people, give a half shekel. He receives the whole shekel. He sees the whole shekel. And he tells them, give a half. And when they give a half, he's telling the nukva, the feminine aspect, now add to the right side of the balance. And that's what's going to elevate the left side of the balance. V'shekel hu mikeseb b'chinat chasadim. And shekel itself, what's the shekel? The shekel itself is always a silver coin. They're never made out of gold, because the gold, you don't make coins out of gold. V'kodesh ki hu hamshachat or ein sof. And it's called the sacred shekel because it's bringing down the light of the infinite. והיה זה גורם המשכת חסד הנ"ל. ולכן היו מוציאים מן השקלים לקורבנות הציבור, שהוא עניין העלאת מן הבא ונולד מחמת המשכה זו. So that's why they use the half shekel to buy the communal sacrifices. Because again, this is uplifting the fire, everything that's done on the avoda side. So I'm weighing down the right side, which is the aspect of loving kindness. And as a result, the scales are tipping, so the left side is elevated. But here it's a good elevation. So it's not saying that there's less there. It is less, right? He even hinted to that. Why did it go higher? Because he got rid. Now it's not gravity. What he's saying is you're pushing here, and it's emptying here on the left side. You're pushing on the right side with the tzedakah that you're giving, and the left side is emptying. That's why it's going up. It's like a balloon. It's like a hot air balloon. You have to drop the sandbags. So the sandbags here are the negative aspects, and they're what leaves when you give the tzedakah.
I've seen in life where chesed leads to gevurah.
Right? It has to.
It has to.
Yeah.
That's right.
It strengthens a person.
It's
וזהו ונתנו כופר נפשו כמו ביי לכיפור הידי והוא גברא הסרת הלכלוך ומיעוט שוערה נדבק בנפשותם כי המד גורם העלאת מן. So that's the image here, that the mad, the awakening from above, which was giving the tzedakah, giving the half shekel, that's causing the elevation of the left side, and the left side is now lighter because I got rid of some of the negative, or all of the negative. And this is the first, this image, when you start contemplating this image of the balances, you understand a lot more about how the sefirot work.
But there's no vacuum. There can never be a vacuum. So you talk about something disappearing. It's not disappearing. It's elevating.
Yeah, but the evil is falling off. It's like dropping sandbags.
It's taking its place.
Nothing.
Kedusha.
No, it's just elevating. You were already kadosh. That's what he says. There's good in the animal soul. I just want to purify it.